In your own terms, how would you define the role of the school board? What are your responsibilities as a member?
Um, in my own terms, defining my role as a school board member, and in my own words, the school board is appointed, or excuse me, elected to implement policies and procedures. I think a lot of people don't realize that when you get there, you are limited on exactly what you can do. You can work with the superintendent and the administration, but you are there to implement the policies and procedures that are written in the handbook for the Caddo Parish School Board to function underneath. And we make sure that they're doing that physically responsible, legally correct, and in the proper manner.
The current Caddo Schools' operating budget is over $490 million. What is your experience with understanding and working with budgets, and what experience do you have that prepares you to oversee the operation of an organization of this size?
I believe I have the experience because my past, for about 25 years, I worked in the legal industry, even working for a grant for capital murder, that we handled a huge budget, nonprofit, appointed under the federal and state. I am now the director of a nonprofit that manages a grant and manage the budget. I oversee the center and all its fiscal responsibility. I have to make sure that we're following all under legal guidelines via the state and the federals and reporting. I feel like that brings a lot to the table. I am very physically responsible when you are dealing with anyone's money, especially not your own, and a nonprofit and the government, and working with 9 other parishes daily. I feel like that brings absolute great experience to be physically responsible and to manage a budget, because just like you budget at home and you have to make sure when times are things have to be cut or things have to be handled in a proper way, just like you would do in your own home, you have to be responsible that way with the community and the constituents' money and the state and federal money for that matter.
Which current Caddo Schools programs or initiatives do you believe are working and producing results? Which programs or initiatives need to be updated or changed?
That's an interesting question during this time because a lot has been changed with programs. Just school in general, instead of traditional 8 to 3 school, we now are seeing a totally different daily structure, from totally virtual for some to hybrid. And just in a short week or two, we knew that there were going to be very big bumps and challenges. It's working. Just last night at the meeting, data was reported originally when they took this survey and getting kids back in school. It was going to be, they had 54% that wanted all virtual. And now just in this short 2 weeks, even with all the trials that we've endured with everything getting started back and trying to get the bumps out of virtual and hybrid and COVID and all, we are down to 43% virtual. People are seeing that they want their kids back in school. The kids want to be in school. So that in general may not be a program that's already there, but it's such a change that we're having to deal with right now that's huge. I would love to see our truancy program. We're working with Volunteers for Youth Justice. When I saw the truancy numbers in Caddo Parish, I was shocked. And I think that is huge. I want them, they've only been implementing for about 4.5 years through Volunteers for Youth Justice, the truancy program. They have made huge strides. I want to see that progress. I'd love to see our ECE grow. I think early childhood is the key. You get those babies in at K3, K4, and they start learning then, they want to learn and they want to stay in. And that would help the decline that we see as they get to high school and the graduation rates declining. Although they have improved, ours have improved, but I think ECE and early childhood is where it begins. That program would be up there with truancy for me, two of the largest.
One of the greatest challenges facing the state are the unfunded pension liabilities. While the state has primary control over the retirement portion, the medical portion is under the control of the district. What steps do you believe the district needs to undertake to address this issue, both long and short term?
I'm thinking on that. That's a big one. I'm learning a lot about that right now. I've been talking with a couple of members of our community about the retirement and about the medical. Retirement seems to be very rolling right along, as you said. They do worry about our medical. I see that we're being run under our district through the insurance for the members of, the employees of Caddo Parish School Board. I feel like they are continuing to monitor it. They seem to have had really good reports. The budget reports I've looked at lately show that they have been comfortable. I'm afraid with COVID and what it's bringing and people retiring, that there may be a problem. I've been meeting, like I said, with constituents to try to learn more about this, because I do know that it is a huge factor. And in long term, we don't want to go bankrupt over our retirement and health care for the system.
For the past decade, the student population of Caddo Parish schools has been declining. While there have been a number of school closures, the number and location of schools no longer match the demographics of the district. What steps do you believe the school system should take to address these changes?
Ooh. If you don't know, you know now, Caddo Parish is declining. Our enrollment is declining. Numbers show that for the last 10 years consecutively, we've lost between 500 and 850 students per year. That is a school per year, at least, that we are losing. I see that we are hardest decision yet that I have made, and the challenges that I have faced so far and plan to see more of is having to consolidate, close schools. No one wants to do that. That is the hardest thing I've had to do, especially a school in my own district. It's just devastating. But when you see the numbers and the maintenance and the overhead that is involved, you have to do something to try to stop the decline, stop the bleeding, for lack of better words. Because if we don't, we're wasting money on facilities and areas that we can cut back and consolidate and put children into one place, make it more accessible for people to get to, make it better for our teachers to be in one location with our students. I think that consolidating and closing, as sad as that sounds, I think we are going to have to do some of that in order to not be in a financial distress. I see that we are going to have to be, as a community, to encourage business and bring business here. I know that's hard just in general, but top notch, that's the biggest problem, is bringing people to Caddo Parish, to Shreveport Bossier, in order to help us grow, will help our schools to grow. It'll bring property owners, it'll bring shoppers, it will bring more taxpayer dollars, and that's unfortunately what we need.
While each board member represents a specific district, many of the challenges facing Caddo Parish Public Schools are district-wide problems. How do you see balancing your responsibility to your specific district and to Caddo Parish schools as a whole?
I see balancing as another great challenge, but when you go in to be a member of the school board, it's not, I can do this, I can do that. It is a team. You're right, there are 12 districts. I am one. I am only number 8 or part of 8. And I feel like that is my first responsibility, to go in as a member of District 8 and work on my own district. But in order to do so, you have to work with 11 other districts, because it is a problem as a whole, and you want every child, every student at every school to have the opportunity to receive the same education, the same services, the same equipment, and be on the same level. An opportunity is what we can provide for them. I know that it all starts at home. You have to send them, you have to get them there. But Caddo Parish offers all of the things above and beyond to do so. And I think as a district as a whole, as long as we can continue to not be selfish in our own reasonings and know that every child should have the same opportunity and the same facility and the same supplies, the same computer, same technology, everything. That's what we are there to do, is to see that those things are implemented and provided to our students, not just in our district, but in the entire parish.
Can you share with us an example of when your ethics or integrity were tested? How did you respond?
I'm seeing it right now. People go to social media. I see that it tests my ethics or my integrity to not want to respond quickly and hastily. That is not the answer. I am here. I am a people person. I'm not here for politics. I believe that it matters. People matter. And so it's that golden rule, do unto those as you would have them do unto you. And I'm not just going to blast someone or reach out there. I'm doing the best job I can do. It's a challenging job. I don't want to get into a scuffle on social media. I see that what that can do to people. I want my neighbors to still believe that I'm the neighbor that they've known for 20 years. I want the schools that I've served in for my children and my family to know that I'm the person that for the last 20, 30 years that they've known that is me. That's why I stepped up to do this, so that they could have the faith in me and that I would never jeopardize my ethics or integrity at all.
What 2 priorities will you have as a school board member, and how will you work collaboratively with other board members to integrate these priorities into the work of the board?
I hate to ask that, but can you repeat that? Can I see that again? I just want to make sure I got all of that.
What 2 priorities will you have as a school board member, and how will you work collaboratively with other board members to integrate these priorities into the work of the board?
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. My 2 priorities are the children and being physically responsible. I will work with each and every board member, each and every district administration, my community, my neighbors, the schools and their staff. I do that continually now to see that our children are served, that they get what they need, that they're in the right place, that they're getting the education to keep our community, Caddo, on track with everyone else, not only in the state, but nationwide. I think that's huge. My second priority is to be physically responsible. I know that we are dealing with, I think you said $430 million budget. If we can cut corners, if we can do some of the same things that we're doing at a less cost, I believe in that. Unfortunately, I believe that you have to work within your means. You have to live within your means. And if we're declining, then in Caddo Parish, then we also have to be aware and attuned to the cuts we need to make, or to the expansions we need to make. If there's something that needs to grow, because just like purchasing and getting all these electronics and Chromebooks for the schools now and the students now, because of COVID, we had to do it. We're actually spending less. We're buying those instead of $700 textbooks. Now textbooks can be downloaded on Chrome. I think so my 2 most important factors are the children and to be physically responsible.
This will be your final question and will include your final remarks. Is there anything you would like to address that we have not yet covered?
I would like to address COVID, if you don't mind. I know I probably mentioned it in a few things, but this has been such a trying time for all those involved in our community, our nation. I would like to say that our administration, with all that they have been faced with and thrown with at this time, has done an amazing job in a short period of time with the resources that we've had. We are, Caddo Parish is feeding children. We are providing tablets and Chromebooks and computers. They are, teachers have taken on a task that no one ever in their right mind would have thought with virtual, hybrid, and traditional. They are teaching and recording daily. They're there all day, every day, just probably about all night. And I just think that some kudos needs to go out in our community and to the administration staff, down to custodials, sanitation. There's just been so much that I, just as a citizen, looking in from the outside and a board member, am just truly amazed at what is being done for our children.